Let's start by talking about the difference between a $600 website and a $6,000 website. What I'm really talking about is one website that looks like it was built on the cheap and another website that not only looks expensive but looks like a high quality, great website. Because obviously you can spend $6,000 on a website and still have it look like a $600 website. So what I'm really talking about is how to get your website to look like a great website. So what are some of those key differences between the cheap website and the expensive website? First off, the cheap website is going to just basically look like it didn't have a lot of time invested in it. It might look like it was a template that you did customize, but you didn't customize very much. So it could look like it's just for any business and any type of service. Maybe the colors are not very consistent or specific to your brand. The design maybe doesn't feel modern. Maybe when you visit the website on a smartphone, it doesn't work really very well. So some of those can kind of be the hallmark of a cheap feeling website. On the flip side, an expensive site is going to be one that feels to your customers like it was built just for them. Between the different colors and fonts and imagery that is across the site, it's going to be consistent. It's going to be very tailored to your brand and to your customers. And it's going to just appeal to your customer because you selected those things intentionally to appeal to your customer. The site also is going to have the information really easy to find. So services and booking pages are going to be easy to find and navigate to from a variety of different places on the site. The site's also going to feel modern. It's going to feel like someone is looking after it and keeping it up to date. It's also going to be easily navigated on a mobile phone and responsive in that way as well. So, do you want your website to look like a cheap website or an expensive website? Of course, you're going to say you want it to look like an expensive site, but some of you may be asking, okay, but why? I don't want to just make it look expensive for the sake of making it look expensive. And that's a smart question. I totally get it. What is the business purpose of having a site that looks expensive? And like I said, expensive meaning a well-designed, good site. So here's a stat for you that might kind of shift you. 75% of people will judge a business's credibility based on the design of their website. So your website is so much more than just a website. It is the window into your business's operations, your values. It really is telling the story that you're not there to tell to your website visitors, that you care, that you offer high quality services, and that you are trustworthy. Foremost and most important, that your website is conveying that you're trustworthy. The fact is, people will not buy from a business that they don't trust, and a cheap looking website is just not going to build trust, and it's going to in fact turn people off. Here's another kind of statistic for you. People who visit a website on mobile and it's really not working so well on mobile, over half of them are not going to recommend that website to someone else. So think about it. Not only are people getting turned off personally by your website, but they're not even going to tell anyone else about it if they know someone who needs your services. So it's a double whammy. It's not good. So I'm not saying make your site attractive just for the sake of making it attractive, but there is a reason that people spend and pay web designers thousands of dollars to build websites. There is a strategy behind it, and there's a lot of work that goes into creating a website that is not only attractive, but really effective at turning website visitors into leads and into clients. So what I want to share with you is what makes a website look like a $6,000 website. And one of our clients came to us and she had one of those $600 websites. So she had done it herself and she was trying to keep it up to date and make some changes to it. And she wasn't fooling herself. She wasn't fooling anyone else. It still looked like a $600 website. So we went through the tips that I'm going to share with you and upgraded her site and really made it tailored to the audience that she was trying to reach and focused on her brand. And now she has a website that is just really functional and really focused on attracting her target customers. And she does a lot of marketing on social media too. And so now she can send that hard-earned traffic, because we all know Marketing on social media, it's a time investment, and you don't want to waste that time by having people finally click the link to your website and come to your website and then get lost and turned off. So she can feel good about sending people to her website, and the website is converting more people into clients. So win-win. So let's get into the tips. How do you make a website look like a $6,000 website? First off, get really clear on your customer. So this is before you even go into the website design process. I want you to be thinking about what are the challenges of your customer? Who are they first and foremost? What are their needs? What problems are you solving for them? And think about a brand that is going to align with your target customer. And that's going to be fonts, colors, imagery. Your logo fits in there too, but a brand is so much more than just a logo. So definitely spend the time to define your brand and get it really clear and really dialed into your target customer so that then you can apply it on your website. And that takes me to tip number 2, which is applying your brand consistently across your website. So using the fonts that you've selected consistently, using the colors, and customizing each part of the site to really align with your brand and bring that through. And when it comes to the imagery, make sure that you're selecting images. Now, stock has come a long way. There's a lot of great stock out there, but pick stock that is going to speak to your customer. So if you are targeting 40-year-old women with gut health issues that are really wanting to just be able to go out to lunch with their girlfriends and not have stomach troubles and just have a good time, then pick photos that have groups of women in their 40s, 30s, 50s enjoying meals with their girlfriends. And make sure that the style of those photos is the same as well, because what we can find too with stock, if you're picking from lots of different photographers and sites, that they can sometimes look a little different. So make sure you keep that in mind too when you're picking that imagery. And even better, get some custom stock, get some custom photography for your brand. So do a brand photography session, get some photos of yourself, maybe get some photos that are going to support different pages on your site, and plug that in. I will say that this is my favorite way to make a website look custom, is really taking a second to customize it with all of your brand assets. It's low-hanging fruit. It's going to go a long way. Then with your layout, make sure that your site is really easy to navigate, that you don't have too many different places that people are trying to be sent. If you just want people to come to your site and book a discovery call, then have those calls to action clearly on every part of your site, have it up in your navigation. Just make it easy for people to get to the information that they're coming to the website to receive. So layout is a huge one. I would also say make sure that you're balancing the design with text and copy. So don't have too many words, don't have too little. A lot of people are skimming websites these days, so definitely keep the content skimmable and easy to digest. That's going to go along with making the site look like someone really paid attention to how the visitor is consuming the information once they land on the site. Then leave fancy effects at the door. So I love me a good testimonial slider. I'm okay with that. But if you start having a whole lot of animations going on and flip cards and drop downs and hiding really important information behind interactive elements, there's actually studies that have shown people are less likely to interact with an element to get whatever the information is. So if you are talking about your services and you have those, just a big image and the title of the service and all of the information is something that someone has to hover over to see, you're really wasting an opportunity to connect and give information to your customers easily. I've seen websites where there's just too much going on, and that just feels cheap. So again, we're talking about making a website feel like a lot of work and time and intention went into it. So keep those animations to a minimum. Otherwise, it can feel like you just came in there and just threw spaghetti on the wall to see what would stick. And that's just not a good feeling for the customer when they're trying to navigate your site. Another thing to be thinking about is paying attention to the little details. So having the same margins on every page and in every different element, having alignment working correctly, so an image not being off aligned in different places, checking for typos, checking for links and buttons not working. I know this sounds like a small thing, but honestly, there's so many websites that I've been to where I find typos and I see these little alignment things, and it really just puts me off. I'm like, oh, you didn't really spend the time to make this website great. And it makes me question, if you didn't spend the time to make sure that your website, which is, like I said, that portal into your business, then how can I know that you're going to put that same attention to serving me and my needs? So it is definitely a critical thing to check all those little itty bitty details. And finally, check out the site on mobile. So you are not done working on your website until you have also looked to see how it appears on a mobile phone. And I would say that your website on mobile should look the same, if not better, than what your desktop version of your website looks like. Because there are so many people coming to websites from their phones these days. Especially, I was talking about that client who does a lot of marketing on social media. Of course, people are, if they're in the Instagram app and they're clicking links, they are going to be visiting the website on the mobile phone. So you want to make sure that the mobile experience is really a great one for people. If you'd like to dive even deeper into this topic, I invite you to check out my masterclass where I go over the mistakes that I see dietitians consistently making on their websites that are costing them clients, unfortunately. But we can fix it, and I go over that in the masterclass. So I invite you to check that out, and thanks for watching.